I've got the whole world in my hands. 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 Khalid's Playhouse. Hey guys. Hey guys. I hope you guys are all feeling blessed and highly favored today. As usual, it's me, Khalid. Khalid the Great, Khalid the Spiritual Scientist. We're back at it again with another podcast. Guys, once again, I'm using these podcasts as a means to communicate, to share my thoughts, to share my ideas, my feelings, my perception of this world, guidance, wisdom, knowledge, everything. I want to share me. I want to share me for me. I want to share me for you. And, let's get into it. Guys, I want to open up about how I've been feeling, or how I was feeling just now. This feeling kind of came along after I was looking into my old photo book on Google Photos, and I saw myself. Okay, I saw myself. And when I say I saw myself, it's like I saw myself in the past, but my spirit wants me to say I saw myself, because the one thing that I have not lost tact of or lost contact with was myself. And I could only express myself to the best of my ability based off of the experiences that I faced, the knowledge that I have, the intelligence that I'm able to use, the wisdom that I have, and I'm able to express. We can only express our expression, the expression of ourselves, and the expression of our will, our God will that is inside of us, is merely limited by the things that we know, the things that we're aware of, the things that we perceive, or the lack thereof, okay? And I would definitely say, guys, perception is everything. Perception is everything. I'm sitting here, and I'm going to write this down first, because I think this is going to be the title of the name of this podcast. It is Never compromise the confidence that you have in yourself for the confidence other people give you. Okay? Let me write this down real quick. Or shall I say, never compromise your self-confidence for the confidence other people give you. So I'm being guided to just kind of get that brief definition of what confidence is, so we can just be on a mutual understanding or mutual agreement in regards to the terms that we're using here. Sorry, I have so much going on in my mind. It took me it took me a whole minute just to write this sentence down, and I have an empty stomach. I am a little hungry, so I need to go eat breakfast as well. But let's see, what does confidence mean? Confidence. The feeling or belief that one can rely on someone or something. Firm trust. Okay? So, that's the definition of confidence. But self-confidence would be the confidence that you give yourself. See, notice how the definition of confidence is based off of something outside of yourself, right? I wanna go back and emphasize that. The feeling or belief that one can rely on someone or something, okay? This the thing. If that someone or something is not yourself, not that inner God, that spirit that God has invested within you, if you are not relying on that spirit, on that soul that is within you, everything else around you can be taken away. Everything else around you can be taken away. And this makes me think about, even when we die, our bodies remain here, but our soul ascends. Our spirit ascends. Your spirit cannot be taken away from you because you are the spirit that is invested in this body. This body, this world, this reality is an investment for the spirit of God that is within you. That shit makes me want to tear up so bad. Because I was really looking through my pictures, and I tweeted this not too long ago. Like, I'm looking at all of these pictures and bringing up all of this nostalgia, all of these different memories and different thoughts and feelings. And I couldn't help but sit there and ponder on, like, where was I for myself? Like, where was I for myself? And I've known for, especially after like my freshman year or sophomore year in college, I realized that I was building myself off of the confidence that other people gave me. And I remember I had a talk with my Miss Morgan at the time. And I remember we had a talk about the confidence that people gave me, and also the way that I carried myself, my self-image and stuff. And I remember that conversation really illuminated something within my consciousness and my awareness that I carried forth, like, and I never released that thought. Like, I never released that sense of awareness that she gave me of myself, that self-awareness that I needed to realize, like, oh my gosh, like, Khalid, like, I love being myself. Khalid, you love to be yourself. You love to be who you are. But at whose expense? At what expense are you being yourself? And when I awoken to the fact that I had put so much energy into the things that other people gave me, the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions that other people gave me, and that I was emotionally driven by other people and the things around me, I realized how much I wasn't truly emotionally driven by myself. Now, I'll bait the fact that I would say the things that I crave and the things that I desire in my life, the things that I'm chasing, the things that I'm willing to express about myself, I wouldn't say that has changed, but the source behind the drive to move forward in my life, the source behind the drive to ascend, the force behind the drive to constantly illuminate myself and my consciousness and become more aware of who I am, and therefore become aware of the things around me in relation to who I am and what I'm supposed to be doing here on this earth and my purpose, you know? And look, the sun is coming out, like, outside of my window. I love it. That's a sign for me. I've learned a lot within the last 3 or 4 years. And I tweeted this not too long ago either. Like, I learned more about life, I learned more about myself than I did academia or my academics in college. And perhaps that's what universities are for. Because I think we can, if we really all had a choice, like, if we really wanted to just learn academia or indulge ourselves in academics, we could just solely do that. But I think there's something about that human experience or that universal experience at a university or college that, yes, it's quite inseparable. I think that really changes the experience completely. When I was in school, I was far more indulged in like extracurricular activities in my relations with different organizations, the people, the university itself, rather than me being more engaged in my academics, until I decided to like change my major, shift things around so that I could be a lot more happier with my journey in education or in my matriculation at the university. Where was I going with this? Because I don't want to get so lost in explaining, because I think that was just merely just me giving you the background experience behind what I want to talk about today. Because as I pondered over my past, and as I pondered over the things that I wish I could, it's, that saying, if I knew better then, if I knew what it's something like, if I knew what I knew now, or something like that. Basically, if I knew what I've known about myself now, I probably would have been a way better person back then, or I could have done better for myself back then. But I definitely do not regret my past. I don't regret my past, because ultimately, oh wow, and I just shuffled my deck and it has confidence at the bottom. And then I just split it and it says opposition, because if not for my past and the opposition and the conflicts and the experiences that I faced in my past, I would not know right from wrong. I would not know what I want from what I don't want. I would not know who I am versus who I am not. I would not know, I would not know certain things, and awareness is key and knowledge is power, but it's what do we choose to do with that awareness and that knowledge that we have about ourselves, about this world, about the things around us, and the things that we deal with, whether it's on a day-to-day basis or the things that we actually want to put our energy into, perhaps as a career, or, I don't regret anything, because I'm happy that I experienced those things, because it has brought me to this awareness and this level of intelligence and intellectuality and wisdom and philosophy that I have accumulated now, that I'm able to express right now, right? And I don't think there's any happier moment in our lives than the present moment that we're actively living in. And if we were to sit here and be regretful of our past, then perhaps we are just creating this illusion of ourselves, and we think that we're moving forward, but if we're constantly focusing on the past and the present moment, in reality, your mind, body, and soul is still in the past. But obviously, this is me in the present. This is me coming into who I want to be and who I'm allowing myself to be in the future, This is me. This is who I am. This is who I know myself to be. And I'll take pride in that until there's an experience or there's something that the universe or God shows me to tell me otherwise. Like, no, Khalid, this is not who you are. This is who you can be. You can do better. You can be better. And the only thing that I can do is express the fullness, all of that, in confidence of who I know myself to be thus far. And that's going to be a reflection of everything that I've learned, everything that I've experienced in my past, that which I've healed from, that which I haven't healed from, that which I've acknowledged, that which I haven't acknowledged, that which I'm vulnerable to expose and shed light on in regards to my own light within me. Self-illumination, that's what I hear. And I'm saying this because I really sat here, y'all, and I was thinking like, okay, Khalid, you did this, you did that. You wish you could go back and do this. You wish you could do this. But at the end of the day, all I feel myself doing is I crave this inner power. I crave this inner security. I crave this freedom. I crave this innovation that only I can allow and provide for myself. Whether I'm allowing somebody else to bring that into my reality for myself, I'm craving that. And by me craving that, my soul, my spirit, the spirit of God that's invested in me is trying to manifest that. And upon trying to manifest that, I have to go through a sequence of trials, tribulations, and cycles and different endeavors that in situations that I'm allowing into my life in order to manifest that innovation, that newness, that breath of fresh air, that new opportunity that I'm looking for. And sometimes, like, it makes me cry because not even just for me, but just for everybody else out there that can resonate with this. That sometimes we really are our biggest enemies. I wrote this down in my because I'm a writer, I'm a speaker, and I've been trying to work on this project for a minute. But nobody's perfect, and I just kind of have to show the world the real me, because if I don't put myself out there for God to shed his light on my actions and on who I am and who I profess myself to be in the present moment, and God can shed light on your character, shed light on any aspect of your life through your relationships with other people, through your experiences with the outside world, through your experiences in your home with your family, through your experiences in school, whatever the case may be. As long as you're open to seeing that light, seeing the illumination of the universe and God outside of yourself, and doing that self-reflection within, I hear that you're unstoppable. There's not your potential is limitless, because God wants to bring that potential out of you. God wants to bring He wants to bring out who you truly are at all times. Who you can be, who you will be, and who you truly want to be. But you cannot hide from that, guys. You cannot hide from that. And I was writing down because I'm a writer, like I said, and I had just recently wrote in relation to the full moon in Aquarius that's going to be happening on August 22nd, as well as the sun entering Virgo. Y'all know I'm an astrologist and stuff, and I'm a reader and stuff. So I've been working on this new project, and it was something here. Give me a second. I want to find it real quick. All right. Yes. Perfect. I found it. So I said right here, and this was in regards to, let me see. I was talking about Lunar Mansion 16 in regards to like the mansions of the moon. I said right here, I said, keep in mind, when you look at a new opportunity with old ways of viewing it, then you aren't looking at the opportunity at all. This can also turn an opportunity into a challenge or obstacle that perhaps doesn't exist anywhere but within yourself. We are often the source of our own limitations. It depends on how we see it. Perception is everything. Guys, okay, so I'm like driven by the energy of Gemini. So y'all, I see things in so many different ways, and sometimes I even drive my own self crazy, to the point that I start believing in the lies that I tell myself. And guys, I was really sitting here really pondering over, like, if I put myself out there, I've been putting my content on YouTube, and I didn't care about getting the views, getting the subscribers, the likes, whatever the case may be, because I was satisfied in the fact that I had finally found, after months of exploring my gifts and the ways that I can express it, I finally found a medium or a way to express the things that I've been navigating through inside of me, and the things that I've been holding on to inside of me. And I see these things as gifts. I see these things as treasure. I feel like our ability to reason, our ability to communicate, our ability to express ourselves, and our ability to share and exchange information such as our thoughts, our ideas, our feelings, I think that's a God-given gift and a privilege within its own self. And I was very satisfied, and I'm very content with, just for example, just posting this on YouTube and calling it a day without nobody else seeing it. Because one, I mean, of course, guys, I could listen to myself all day. I could talk all day. I could listen to myself talk all day. I talk in my head all day. But I'm very satisfied with the fact that I can say, okay, Khalid, you did that. Like, you did step one. You put yourself out there. Regardless of other people seeing it, you put yourself out there. But let's be honest. What I'm doing is a very social thing. It's about communication. It's about correspondence. So it kind of objectively, when you really think about it, it becomes useless when nobody is listening to it. And then it's like, objectively in my mind, my spirit's like, Khalid, well, you're only posting it on YouTube, where it's kind of like nobody, based on that algorithm, nobody could really see that. Nobody could really support you. They don't even know that you have a YouTube with this stuff going on. So it's like, okay, Khalid, you're going to have to use your other social media handles, such as like Instagram, Twitter, to put yourself out there and get people to know, like, okay, some things are changing in Khalid's life. Khalid is doing some different stuff here. Let's check it out. Let's support him. Let's do, whatever the case may be. And as I pondered on that, I reflected on a lot of things, but they were fear-based. I reflected on the first thing that I definitely reflected on, the first thing that I would want to highlight is how I realized that as I was pondering on my past, because I was looking at my pictures from my freshman year of college and my experience in high school, I realized how much of my social media handles were, no offense, filled with people that I considered to be in the past, and just people that reminded me of who I used to be. And it kind of made me feel insecure, because once again, I've already highlighted that I wish I could have gave myself the security that I needed and that I desired back then, at the times where I was looking for that. I was looking for confidence and security in the wrong places. I was looking for it in other people, and other people always took it away. Other people abused it. I allowed people to control my security and my confidence, and when I allowed them to do that, they could choose when I was at my lowest. They could choose when I felt insecure, because I allowed them to, because I put that security and confidence within their control, within their hands. And that was based on my perception, once again, because I was seeing and looking for things in the wrong places. And I genuinely cannot get upset or regret the relationships that I've had with other people in the past. And when I look at my social media sometimes, it reminds me of like all of these people that I don't talk to anymore, and all the people that don't talk to me. And I guess that too is based on perception, Perhaps there's certain relationships out there and certain people out there that I should be talking to and that I should be communicating with, but I've shut myself off from those relationships because perhaps there's an aspect of myself that I'm shutting off from my own perception and awareness on an egotistical level, in a sense of looking at myself from a detached and objective point of view. Because sometimes we turn a blind eye to the things that we can't bear to look at. And I think now that I'm hearing myself, I realize that I left a lot of my burdens and a lot of the things that, a lot of my pain and my painful experiences with other people, and then I kind of turned my back, or kind of like just remove myself from the energetic connection that we had, despite how positive it may have been in the beginning. And so I guess right now, I can begin to openly acknowledge the effect that I had on other people, and also on myself, in regards to my relationships and connections with people. I guess I genuinely do want to apologize to myself and to other people that do have a chance to hear this. And if they do feel that I owe them an apology, I definitely would love to say that I'm sorry. And I'm most importantly sorry to myself. Because now that I'm thinking about it, I couldn't help but ponder over my fear of putting myself out there in regards to this new and improved or innovated sense of self that I had, sense of self-confidence, and my new endeavors that I'm trying to embark on. It's like one minute Khalid wanted to be a model, the next minute I wanted to be a psychologist. I remember, let's start from the beginning. When I was in middle school, I wanted to be a musician. Then as I got to high school, I realized that I wanted to be like a lawyer, or I wanted to be a psychologist, but I chose psychology because I just genuinely wanted to understand why people did the things that they did, because I always wanted to know why I did the things that I did. And that has opened me up to such a grand perspective and such a grand way of seeing my reality that I would never regret. And then I went to college, Morgan State University. As fascinating as psychology was for me, and it still is, academics, or I would say institutionalized academics at an institution, like, it just was not for me. I struggled with it, and then on top of that, because I struggled with it, it was easier for me to be a socialite and engage more in the social aspects of my college experience, or my experience at the university in regards to like SGA, the different organizations, and partying, and just everybody knows me. And I'm saying, like, the people that listen to this, if y'all knew me for Morgan, y'all know me, because y'all know how much I love to talk. I love to express myself. I love to just be around other people. And then there was a point in time where I just didn't. And I think that was especially after I lost my position as Mr. Freshman. I lost my position after one semester, y'all, because I was failing my classes. And I found that to be so embarrassing. Because if I was going to be the epitome of leadership and be put in a position of leadership and excellence, not for 1 second did I think that I was above being that example. So when I realized that I wasn't that example, I broke my own heart, and I just felt so ashamed. I felt like I couldn't even show my face for a quick second, especially when spring semester started of 2017, 17 at Morgan State University. And then I realized that even without that sash and without the little pin and stuff, I was like, dang, like, I'm still loved. Like, I'm still appreciated by people. Like, I genuinely had friends. I genuinely had a community that, once again, still appreciated me and loved me for who I was. Because, y'all, coming from high school, I did not appreciate myself, and therefore other people didn't appreciate me. I had like three best friends, and then I had like maybe like 5 to 7 other people that I would say they were kind of my friends, acquaintances, but I'll be honest, can't really say that with the awareness that I have now, because once again, if I was aware of myself and aware of the nature of the people around me back then, I would have came to the realization that perhaps people didn't care about me as much as I thought they did. Or perhaps what it really is people didn't care about me as much as I wanted them to. And I think that's because I genuinely didn't know how to love and take care of myself the way that I do now. Okay? In the present moment. Because after looking at all of these pictures from high school and college, all I could say is I love myself, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. I'm going to love myself forever. I don't want to stop loving myself. And I could just feel my spirit giving me a hug. Like I could feel my inner self give me a hug. Give me the hug that I needed. That I needed in high school. Like, giving me the security that I needed in high school, the security going into college. Like what in the world? Like, I don't regret it at all, but I'm just so happy to say that I'm finally here at a level of my life. Despite what's going on, I may not have all the money in the world. I may not have all the friends I want in the world. I may not have everything that I want, but the one thing that I know that I do have is myself. And I'm absolutely grateful for that. I can't imagine anymore a life without being there for myself, because if you don't have yourself, nobody else really got you. Nobody else really got you. Like, the only person that really got you is you and God, because that spirit, that self that is inside you is merely a reflection of the light that God has put within you. We are human beings. It's the being. There's a being inside of us, separated from our consciousness, the awareness of our ego, y'all. It's two different things. The ego is just aware. The ego perceives that which it wants to perceive, but the soul, the being inside of you, that is where emotions come from. That is where the subconscious comes from. The inner aspect of you that keeps dreaming. The inner aspect of you that keeps striving for you to break free. That keeps striving for you to want more. That keeps striving for you to chase your wildest dreams. And yes, sometimes as we chase our biggest and wildest desires, we are met with experiences that God has put in front of us to make us realize, like, no, this is not what you really want, because your desire for this is really coming from a place of lack, or a place of instability, you know? Like, yo, I really used to really be out there really trying to, I love people. Yes, I love people. But I think I was just like that conversation that I had with my Miss Morgan. I remember we had this conversation about my desire for attention from other people. I used to be so crazy. I used to just be twerking. I used to be doing everything, y'all. And yes, I would say that's myself. And I was unapologetically me. And that felt good. But I would definitely say, like, in a sense, I lack self-control. But I do want to get back to that sense of self where I can express myself in that way. But perhaps express that around people that are deserving of that. Because not everybody deserves deserved or deserves my energy. They didn't deserve my energy then, and not everybody deserves my energy now. They don't deserve the full extent of it. Because some people don't understand the value and the worth of who you are, and therefore you cannot show them all of you, okay? Because they don't deserve that. You deserve to embody and experience who you are all the time within yourself. But you have standards and expectations, limitations for yourself, and you practice and exude and stand in the power of those standards and expectations that you set for yourself in your relationships with other people. And that's why I, quote unquote, come off the way that I do. That's why I carry myself the way that I do to this extent. And perhaps there are people out there that probably think like, oh, Khalid is so shrewd. He thinks so highly of himself. He thinks that. No, you do. Now, I see that you do. But personally, I'm just being myself. Rather than just seeing myself in a position where I think highly of myself and see people that project that thought of somebody else thinks highly of themselves, but they have such a negative emotion or connotation towards that. That's merely them just feeling insecure and their inability to give their selves the security and the power that they truly want. A powerful person or a person that knows themselves doesn't need to go around other people and exude their power, exude the fact that they know themselves. All they have to do is just be themselves and allow that to speak for itself. Period. 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 So, never compromise your self-confidence for the confidence others give you. Just don't. Because what you put in the hands of other people, they can easily take away. What you put in the hands of the outside world, it can easily vanish just like this. Because when you die, the only thing that you're going to take with you is your soul. So the only confidence that you should root all of your things in life is within yourself. Even your relationship. Root that confidence and that bond that you have with other people with the confidence that the relationship that you have within yourself. Hold on, give me a second. Sorry, y'all. I had to use the restroom real quick. I'm back. But it's crazy how I got to this part because, and this is where I see this synchronicity. It's like, y'all, please check out my new endeavors. Like, y'all, I'm a writer. I love speech. I love writing. Very much Gemini quality. I like to express myself, and these are the means of me expressing myself. So I'm beginning a podcast. I have a couple of podcasts already. I would love your support. I would love your encouragement. I would just love for those that are interested to just take a look. Spread the word. I have high hopes, but not even just that. I have high hopes, but I genuinely don't know what's going to come out of this. But I would definitely say, I'm going to start by saying that I feel good. I feel great. I feel absolutely amazing. So I think that's a start. If you're doing something in your life and it's not feeling good, if you know it's not taking you to a place that it's going to feel good, y'all, it's not worth doing it. But yeah, let me get to this because I want to address this about the relationship that you have with yourself, because it's crazy how the podcasts are separable. They're separated from my writing, but it's crazy how I can go back and refer to my writing like a little book and just tell y'all like, dang, I literally just talked about this, and that's crazy. I said right here, this is in regards to the full moon in Aquarius energy that will be on August 22nd. And one of the cards that I pulled was Lunar Mansion 16, the door. So in my expression of thoughts and feelings towards this lunar mansion, I had said, to my understanding, well, actually, let's start right here. I said, will we take into consideration the individuals, the foundation, and the bond? They also work in tandem with each other to create harmony, where one ultimately affects the other. For example, there is no bond or foundation with individuals involved unless the individual is building a bond or a foundation with oneself. There is no bond without individuals with the foundation that they are able to relate to. A bond with a useless foundation is useless. A bond without a meaningful foundation is meaningless. A bond with individuals that do not bond with their own selves in a healthy, meaningful, and useful way is an unhealthy, meaningless, and useless bond or relationship. A foundation cannot be built with others without individuals that bond through their relations with the foundation at hand. A foundation that is unable to maintain a strong bond between individuals is a weak foundation. These principles work hand in hand and can be applied to marriage, family, business, and many other facets of our lives. But at the center of all three is the individual and their willingness to bond, relate, and build. To my understanding, one cannot fully benefit from the potential bonds and relations with other people, places, or things if they are not willing to benefit from the limitless potential their bond and relationship with their self and God has to offer. The more that you work on your connection and relationship with yourself, God, and the universe, the more you become open to experiences and relationships that mirror just that and won't allow anything less than what you already give to yourself and what God has given to you. And in this case, y'all, that would be your soul, your spirit. Furthermore, I said, bonds can easily lead to bondage and codependency, which limit an individual's ability to exercise their free will to the best of its ability. Ultimately, one will not know that they are in bondage unless they are met with an experience that shows them otherwise. That experience, no matter how grim it is an opportunity for one to make the necessary changes to release themselves from such bondage. Ideally, that which has bonded your expression of will in the past is in opposition to your need to express freely. Naturally, opposition creates conflict, and in this case, when it comes to family and marriage, this conflict can lead to quarrels. Hence, the traditional indications of this lunar mansion. All right. I think let me read this even more, because we do have some major transits coming in with Uranus. And I said right here, it says, furthermore, it states that Uranus stimulates Mercury in a new line of thought, encouraging lateral thinking or causing a brainwave. This card indicates the possible arrival of brilliant new concepts which surprise you and everybody else and shakes you out of your old familiar ways of thinking. The plant on this card symbolizes time spent living the same way for a long while. The door leads to opportunity. So this card is talking about us living with or living in the same, I would say ultimately the same level of consciousness or awareness, because ultimately the things that we experience and the things that we face in our life is a test for us to evolve consciously, or a reflection of where we are in regards to our level of awareness of ourselves and this world, okay? Because the more that you know about yourself and the more that you know about your relationship with this world and with God, the more that you're able to navigate through this reality, open up doors of opportunity, and navigate through conflict and opposition in your life in the most peaceful manner that will bring balance to you and balance to the things that you face around you and outside of you, okay? So I said, moving forward, I said, firstly, in regards to the notes and the indications of this card, I said, firstly, I would like to identify Uranus is the ruling planet of Aquarius and Mercury is the ruling planet of both Gemini and Virgo, i.e. which I both have highly aspected in my chart, y'all. Yes. And I said, so these signs and planets may be very significant to you now or in the near future, so check your placements in the transits. I had Gemini and Virgo highly aspected in my chart, so y'all make sure y'all check those out to see how they're going to be playing a part in your reality in the near future, okay? I said these signs are very intellectual and cerebral in nature, hence the new lines of thought, lateral thinking, and brainwaves. I am a firm believer in regards to our reality and experiences that we are what we think and we attract what we feel. So new lines of thinking result in new ways of being, and new ways of being attract new experiences, which are opportunities for you and others to take advantage of to their benefit. Lateral thinking is the solving of problems by an indirect and creative approach, typically through viewing the problem in a new and unusual light. This reminds me of one of my favorite quotes of Albert Einstein about problem solving. He said that we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. This quote is the epitome of this lunar mansion and my lifetime at this moment. And y'all, this is crazy how I'm reflecting on the notes that I'm taking in regards to the cards that I pulled, and it's resonating with what I'm going through right now. So it's kind of reflecting that I too am a reflection of the collective body as well, and I also too experience the things that I am quote unquote prophesizing or forecasting or whatever the case may be in my writings here, in my analysis of the energies. Because keep in mind, I wrote this as an analysis or as a report in regards to the energies that we may encounter as we approach the full moon in Aquarius and embody those energies. Because the full moon in Aquarius is in about 4 days on August 22nd. This is August 18th, okay? That I'm recording this podcast. So I said, a brainwave is an electrical impulse in the brain or sudden clever idea. This is merely emphasizing the sparks of genius and brilliance that is available to the human mind. One cannot take advantage of new ideas with old ways of thinking because it loses value in the innovation and opportunity it can bring. In relation to the lunar mansions that have been covered so far, some of you will be or have been met with a revelation or new idea that can lead to new opportunities in your life, but you must be willing to release any factors that are inhibiting you from embracing the newness that it has to offer. Sometimes something new can seem very different, and sometimes difference can make us feel uncomfortable. But we have to be uncomfortable to grow and expand. So do it. This will lead to success, completion of old cycles, hope for outcomes and opportunities that will bring things into alignment for your highest good. Oops. I was missing a word in there. So yo, I'm like still editing and stuff, but I will have this finalized and I will have this produced on my YouTube, and perhaps I will also put this out on my Instagram for you guys to see and see how I'm speaking about this. This is also alluding to me putting myself out there and not being afraid of what other people think or how people are going to react to me trying to find myself in regards to what I'm trying to do in my life and all of that. I think it's okay to not know where you're going, in a sense where to not know where you're going is one thing, but to not have trust in God where God and the universe is taking you is another. I genuinely have trust in where God is taking me, and if I don't put my podcast out there, if I don't put myself out there for you guys to hear what I have to say, then that means I'm not believing and having faith in what God and the universe is trying to prepare for me, because I'm limiting myself in this new opportunity, or perhaps what can be a new opportunity for me and for other people, simply because of my fear of judgment my fear of the public. And I kind of feel weird and kind of embarrassed kind of saying that, because if y'all know me, y'all know I'm not afraid of shit. I'm not afraid to put myself out there. Like, y'all, I'm Khalid. The fuck? I am Khalid Shodende. Like, this is who I am. This is who I'm proud to be. And I couldn't be any prouder. I couldn't be any happier. And so God be it. So it's God willing. And if this is what God is willing and this is what he allows, then so be it. And nobody else can, there's nothing that anybody else can say or do that's going to stop me from doing that which I truly feel that I'm supposed to be doing in this present moment. For myself and for others right now. Fuck it. I don't give a fuck. And then we got to this part. I said, keep in mind when you look at new opportunities but old ways of viewing it, then you aren't looking at the opportunity at all. And this can also turn an opportunity. See, it just brings it back to the comment that I first said. Keep in mind when you look at the new opportunity with old ways of viewing it, then you aren't looking at the opportunity at all. And this can also turn an opportunity into a challenge or obstacle that perhaps doesn't exist anywhere but within yourself. We are often the source of our own limitations. It depends on how we see it. Perception is everything. And guys, I think I want to leave the podcast just right there. Thank you guys so much for listening to me. Thank you guys so much for just being here. Thank you so much for your love, your support. Guys, please check out Kaleidoscopes on YouTube and check out Khalid's Playhouse. I'll be having podcasts on Khalid's Playhouse, and I will be having my reports and my analysis on Kaleidoscopes, and there will be so much more in regards to my endeavors. So just stay tuned. Once again, thank you guys so much. Peace, love, and light. Namaste. Bye. Mwah. You guys are amazing. I'm amazing. Anyways, bye. Mwah.